Okay, I need to replace the struts in my 2018 Chrysler Pacifica. And unlike the other videos, there's no coil on it, so you're going to have to replace the coil. But first, you have to get to the coil and spring set. Hold on, you see it underneath there. So that's it before I get started. And I'm going to have to remove this panel for the wiper arm. Then first thing is to pry this little thing up and remove that in order to remove the panel. Here's this little foam piece here, and it's got a tool. It's got those little plastic inserts that you can pull out. So I'm going to remove this, and then once I remove this, you'll be able to remove it. I mean, I'm just showing you how to start. The inserts and the screws will be obvious. To be continued. I'm not looking forward to that. That's a lot of rust. Okay, this continued. I found out that this is a 15 millimeter. So I believe in investing in tools whenever I get a chance, but because I don't like to work too hard. But here we go. Okay, not too bad. Probably would have came out easy with the regular wrench. So why work harder than you have to? All right. So I'm gonna have to pry those up. I have pry tool. Let's see if that works. Don't like. Okay. That is going to require a different approach, like a pulley. I want to see if I can have a pulley puller small enough for that. Frack. Why do we have to do that? All right, let me go look. Okay, overreacted. I just wiggled it out in desperation. Now it's gonna make a liar out of me. There you go. Done. All right. Stage 3. Okay, I got the panel off, and this is what it looks like. I'm not super thrilled about the driver's side. Look at that. That is gonna be power tool resistant, so that means I'm gonna have to remove that rear nut by hand. These front two, fine, but that's the one that's gonna be more labor intensive, and that's probably gonna be the toughest one. Get those things in there. I'm gonna go ahead and actually loosen that rear one up first. And then I'm gonna jack up the car and start removing the tires. Okay, this motor control arm for the wiper blades is gonna have to come out. The reason why is because I tried my slimmest tool, which reaches back here, and when I tried to test it out, this booger's in the way. This motor's in the way here. Won't be able to turn. This motor combined with this is in the way. Even when I tried that way, and also this little section here is too tight. So this needs to come out, I'm gonna remove that connector. It kind of twists in there, and remove these bolts, which are 10 millimeter. So motor control arm is out. And once we remove those two 10 millimeter bolts, this thing pops out easy peasy. Of course, remove the connector. Okay, I'm glad I decided to do the windshield panel first and hit those back bolts, because those back bolts would have been really tough once it's jacked up, and I had everything standing on jack stands, and I'm worried about it falling. I believe in safety, extra cautionary safety steps. And if it wasn't for this little cheap gimmicky Harbor Freight ratchet that allows multiple configurations, this would have been a bear to wrestle with. But it made short work. So one good thing about Harbor Freight, you can find those cheap little gimmicky, tools like this. I haven't found this tool anywhere else, not at AutoZone, not at Northern Tool, no place but Harbor Freight. So shout out to Harbor Freight. I know their tools aren't the best, but when you need something gimmicky and useful, this is always useful for that one bolt that's just hell to get out when you're working on a car. So get you one of these. And flex ratchets. Okay, got it jacked up now. I left those two main bolts on either side for the top of the struts to be last. And I'm gonna remove it. Yes, it's a DeWalt, it serves me well. I got my Milwaukee right here too. Okay, now we can see it. We can see the prize. So according to this, and it looks like a little bit different from the videos I've seen, there's only one nut on this side, and on the back, I know you can see it, there's nothing really to hold on to there. So everything is based on that. Looks like there's a hex inside there for stabilization, but hopefully I can get it out with my impact wrench. Gonna have to remove that cable connector here, and then the rest is pretty much straightforward. Slide that out, and then, because as you can see here, that will be it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's get at it. Okay, there's always one troublemaker. As I was saying, everything right here is up front. On the other side, my impact wrench took it, loosened this bolt, no problem. However, on this side, it just kept spinning because it was locked. And the only way to get it out now is to grab a hold of that nut, get a Torx. I misspoke, it wasn't a hex, it was a torque. Get a torque. What size is this? This is, what? I can't see it. T40, Torx 40. All right, the T40 Torx, I'm doing this by hand because I don't know which way it turned. Okay, clockwise, righty-tighty for the Torx, and it's lefty-loosey for the nut, but it's coming out. All right, that's out. And I'll get to the rest. So yeah, that was the only trick right there. The other ones, the other videos I've seen, they said there's a bolt back here and they tell you get vice grips, etc. Nah, 2018 Chrysler Pacifica, you're gonna need a T40 Torx, and I'm using 11/16, but that's really like an 18 millimeter. Thanks. By the way, I had a forced break because I didn't have these, and shout out to AutoZone. They had same day delivery for these Torx bits, and it saved my bacon. All right, on to the big bolts. I got a 1316 to hold this steady, and I got a 21 millimeter for the nut side. And hopefully, there we go. So repeat 3 more times. So this side is a real tough one. I had to go get my DeWalt impact wrench for this. See that? You still see? I correct that. All right. 21 millimeter on the DeWalt. So the right angle Milwaukee impact wrench wasn't strong enough, but this has more torque. This has 1,250 foot-pounds of nut busting torque, and I gotta tell you, you're gonna need that nut busting torque. There you go. Okay, I've been at work. So the nut that goes on top of this mofo would not come off. And when I use a brace by using a pry bar against those extrusions there, or those bolts that sticking up, I thought, okay, I got it now. And it stopped turning, but the shaft kept turning. So the shaft was turning within the strut, meaning there is no resistance to remove the bolt. My first bright idea was to use an angle grinder to cut through it. It's very loud, very time consuming. Would have it worked? Maybe another hour or so. Then I decided, hey, I just need to stop that shaft from moving. So I drilled a hole in it. Of course, steel bit. The bit broke off inside. No biggie. I wanted to stick a screw or a bolt in there to get it stuck anyway. And then voila, I was able to remove the nut. So, don't buy the strut only. Save yourself some headache and buy the strut and coil spring, or have a drill with some carbide bits handy and some bolts to drill a hole in it and create resistance in case that nut ever gets fused to the shaft. All right, let's see how the rest goes. Okay, had to do the same thing with the second one, but at least I knew exactly what to do. Let's finish this up. Well, I had my doubts, but those are the new ones. Nice and shiny.